And welcome back to Rockline once again. We're with George Harrison for 2 hours in our special edition of Rockline this evening. I'm BC, Bob Coburn. Our next call is from Cheryl in East Helena, Montana, listening to KBLL 1240 in Helena. And Cheryl, we welcome you to our program. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hi, George. How you doing?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
Oh, pretty good. Kind of nervous.
Well, sorry, where are you, Carolina?
Helena, Montana.
East Helena.
Okay.
Never been there. Sorry, I don't know where it is.
I was wondering, how do you like making videos now as compared to the movies you made with the Beatles?
It's a funny business. Videos, I really didn't want to make them when I started out, but, you know, it's part of the game now. But I've actually had fun doing them, I must admit. And the problem with it is that you don't really get a lot of time to prepare for them. At least I haven't. You know, maybe Prince and all them other people do, but I don't. I have to, like, find some kind of director and film crew, you know, in like 10 minutes and come up with something that's, you know, they're going to want to play on MTV. And so far I've got a bit lucky. And, you know, I had a good guy who's called Gary Weiss, who did the one where I, you know, did my backflip, and I had Godley and Cream to do the other one, and a guy called Willie Smacks, who's a guy from England who did the first one with the sort of amusement arcade.
Mm-hmm.
And Willie Smacks, incidentally, with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics, are going to do a movie for Handmade Films later in this year called TVP, and he's a real good director. And so, you know, I just got lucky. I mean, next week or another month, they'll say, hey, we're going to go with, you know, some other tune, and we're going to have to try and think of how to do a video there. In one respect, I'm not happy about it, but I'm having fun, you know. I'll make the best of it.
Certainly have. Cheryl, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. And we're going to talk now with Joe in Cincinnati, a listener of WEBN, and we welcome Joe to the Rockline. Hi.
Hello, George.
Hi, Joe.
How are you doing?
Fine, thanks.
It's an honor to talk to you. I've been a fan since I was 8 years old.
I like you, too.
Thank you. A couple questions for you. You mentioned earlier you have quite a few tapes locked away. I've always wondered if you kept any of your old guitars, costumes, what have you, from the Beatle days. Is that...
Yeah, that's true. I do. I've got a couple of them old suits, you know, those things, those Pierre Cardin suits. I got the guitar that I used to have, that's the one actually on Cloud 9 cover, that old Gretsch, which I gave away at one point in time. I got it back, and it was my first guitar bought for sort of $200 or something off a sailor in Liverpool. Hello, sailor. And then I got the, you know, my Fender that I played Nowhere Man on, which turned psychedelic in the 67, and now is my actual slide guitar. I use that for slide. Yeah, I got all kinds of bits and pieces, you know, like that. Yeah, I got suits. I got some old Beatle boots that are too tight. In fact, in the new video, I got my old Sgt. Pepper suit on, but I'm busting out of there all over. That's why you only see it for like 3 frames of the movie.
Funny how that happens as time goes by.
Yeah, Slim Jim's got a pair of Beatle boots, you know.
Joe,
Hi,
good
Jim.
call.
Hi, Jim. You listening, Jim? Are you Jim? Jim?
Joe, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Do you like to listen to any of your old Beatle recordings?
Yeah, I do, yeah. You know, I don't sit around home playing them much, but occasionally when I'm trying to listen to my latest single on the radio, I keep hearing Paul McCartney singing Michelle.
Joe, we appreciate your call. We're going to move on now and let Jim have his turn to talk with George Harrison. Jim is located in Chicago. The Loop FM 98 is our station there, and we welcome him to the Rockline. Hi, Jim.
Hi, George. How you doing?
Fine, Jim. How are you?
That's good. I'm fine, thank you.
Yeah, good. Well, we're all fine. We're fine. Okay, we're fine.
First of all, I want to say congratulations on your well-deserved success with Cloud 9.
Thank you.
And my question goes all the way back to the Bangladesh concert days. I wanted to know how it all came about and what it was like to organize that whole event.
Yeah, well, it came about because there was all these people with machine guns and stuff killing all these Bengalis, and a friend of mine called Ravi Shankar, who happens to be a Bengali, felt a bit pissed off at it. And he was going to do a concert, and he asked me and Peter Sellers, the actor Peter Sellers, who's not with us at this moment, but if you're listening, Peter, We love you. Anyway, Peter and Ravi Shankar and myself were all good buddies, and so Ravi thought maybe he could do a show to raise $25,000 if me and Peter came on and announced him or did something. And, you know, I just got involved with it, and from my Beatle training, which was mainly like John Lennon's kind of attitude, which is, you know, if you're going to do it, let's just do it, you know, let's get Bob Dylan and everybody and just, you know, make more than $25,000. And so that's what happened.
It all came together rather quickly, didn't it?
Yeah, again, it was, I think, around about May or June of that year, and we did the show on August the 1st.
My goodness, that's really quick in terms of what we're talking about. From the concert for Bangladesh, this is Beware of Darkness on Rockline. From the concert for Bangladesh, Beware of Darkness on Rockline. Our special 2-hour edition with George Harrison continues as we talk with Laura from Edmonton. She's listening to K97, and we welcome her to the Rockline. Hi, Laura.
Hi. Hi, George.
Hi, Laura. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fine. You?
Yeah, I'm not so bad now. I've sort of calmed down a little.
This isn't my question, but you sound like you're itching to play your guitar. Would you play us a little tune, or?
Well, I just happen to have a tune here that goes like this. Can you hear it?
Huh?
Can you hear it? Are you listening to the radio?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, it goes like this. See, it doesn't really go like that, but I promised the guy who lent me the guitar that, you know, I'd play it so that I could keep the guitar later. So it goes something like this. You must realize when we're sort of, you know, not exactly in tune with ourselves, let alone the guitars, you know. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, seems like... Where's all that echo coming from? Are you getting the echo on the radio? Are you listening to the radio? If you've got echo on there, then we've got a problem.
You want the echo gone?
It's just in my headphones?
They mixed a little echo in. You want the echo gone?
Hey, Jeff, just send Jeff in the control room. We don't like reverb.
Okay, stop.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say, it's alright. It's around there somewhere, okay. What'll you give me? Say the bells are ringing. Is there hope for the future? Say the bells are future. And what will you give me? Say the bells are ringing. Jim McQueen, we love you. And take me disappearing through the smoke rings of my mind, through the foggy ruins of time, from the reach of crazy sorrow, just to dance beneath the diamond sky, with one hand waving free, silhouetted by the sea. On the circus sand, you write too many words, Bob. I don't know. We will tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll get it right. Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. It's alright. It's alright. Okay, it's alright. It's alright. Alright.
Nice. What a treat that was. Thank you. Thank you.
Bit out of tune, folks. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. You know, take me as I am or let me go.
Nice work, gentlemen. An assist from Jeff Lynne over there with another guitar. And Laura, thank you for asking him to do that. I appreciate that. What question did you have tonight, Laura?
Okay. George, you've been through so much in your lifetime. When you look at yourself, what do you see?
Don't ask me. Don't ask me. I see too many things. I see an old pirate. I see somebody who's quite nice. And I see, don't ask me.
See a lot of things, many times around. Laura, thank you. That's a great call. We appreciate it. Let's talk with Mark, see what he has happening tonight. He's in Lincoln, Nebraska. Q102 is our station. Mark, you're on with George.
Hey, I'm glad to hear you're back. I like the album quite a bit, and I'd like...
Quite a bit? Well, get off the line, man. If you don't love it, just get off the line.
Well, what can I
say? Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right with you. That's all right, Mama. In the way you do, well, that's all right. That's all right. So what's the question then?
Oh, I want to know about Devil's Radio.
Devil's Radio. Well, that's what it is. This is the Devil's Radio. We're on it right now. Okay, gossip. What do you want to know? Oh, yes, well, you want to know everything.
I'm really listening to a lot of talk radio shows, and I wondered if you might have got an inspiration from listening to talk radio, or if maybe you thought that it was just the garbage the media throws out at you.
Sure, it's all of those things, isn't it? We do it ourselves. I do it myself, I say to you, hey, you never believe it, but you know what I saw Paul doing the other night? And I say things like that, and we all gossip about each other, and the newspapers are the worst, and radio, even when it isn't bad, it's not quite good enough. And as far as American television goes, as an English person, I can't believe you put up with it. You should just get a lot of them kicked out of there, and let's have some sense talked in our lives. What a waste of time and energy. All this madness being sent by satellites all over the world, and people just talking about hobbly this, hobbly that, hobbly you, hobbly me, hobbly the tree. And, we just want to, that's why this is nice, because they can't get me off now. And I can say things which, other people may not, you know what I mean? You're not allowed to say things like that. But it's true. Our society is filled with electricity buzzing around the place, with all our computers and satellites and radios and just everything. And we're all gossiping about each other. Not all of us. I know there's a lot of great people out there who are, cool and groovy. But basically, that's the inspiration of that song. It's just like everywhere you look, man, it's just all that, the bad jazz that a cat blows wails long after he's cut out. William Shakespeare said that. Hipsters, flipsters, and finger-popping daddies, knock me your lobes. We come to bury Caesar, not to hip you to him. The bad jazz, we had that line. To swing or not to swing. That is the hang-up. Lord Buckley, 1958.
And that is Devil's Radio, Mark, and thanks for your call. Let's talk with Todd in Colorado Springs, listening to Kilo 94. Hi, Todd.
Hey, George, how you doing? I know you're doing okay.
Thanks.
Well, I'm all right myself, and I'm a very big fan of your guitar playing and the guitars that you own. So here's my question. You've always used different guitars to help you express your ideas through your songs. And lately you've been resorting back to your Gretches with Carl Perkins and the Duo Jet.
Yeah, actually, this guitar I got in my hand is a great old Gretsch. First time I saw it tonight was these... this radio show is trying to con me into doing something I didn't really want to do, but as I'm here, it's a real great guitar, and I'm going to get it off them before I leave the night. But it's an old Gretsch. It's sort of, weather battered and that, but it's really nice. And guitars for me was a savior, really. I mean, it was something for me to get onto after I got off my mother's nipple, basically. It's like that idea. It's something, I was so nervous to talk on this show, but just to hold a guitar, even with the limited bit I know about it, it helps, it just helps. And this happens to be a good guitar. It's an old Gretsch, and Thank you very much.
You look good with it, too, by the way, and it sure sounds good.
Let's face it, this guitar is me.
I have a feeling it's now yours, too, George. Todd, thanks for the call. We're going to play another song off of Cloud 9 right now. Without a doubt, this is my favorite from the album. This is called That's What It Takes on Rockline. That's What It Takes from Cloud 9 by George Harrison. George and Jeff are working on an Everly Brothers tune in the background here.
Sorry, are we on
that's
again?
Don't let me interrupt. Long-distance information, give me Memphis, Tennessee. Here's Paul listening to 103 FM from Memphis. And, Paul, you're on the Rockline.
Thank you, Bob. How are you doing, George?
I'm doing fine, Bob. How are you doing? It was Bob, was it?
It's Paul.
Paul. Sorry, Paul. Well, Paul, Bob, you know, they're all the same, really.
I was interested in asking you if you, by any chance, snuck to Memphis a year ago when Ringo was in town.
No, I never. Sorry, I wasn't. It's just a rumor.
So there you go, Paul. Thanks for your question. We'll move on now to Rich in Atlanta listening to 96 Rock. And Rich, you're on with George.
George, how you doing?
Hi, Rich.
Got a couple of questions. I want to know, other than your new album, none of your other albums are available domestically on CD. And I wanted to know when we're going to be seeing those on CD and if there's any problems on that.
The only problems are that... I don't know. There's no problems, really. It's just that I have to make myself very popular, and then the record companies will want to put them out and sell some.
This record will go a long way toward establishing that, Cloud 9. Rich, do you have another question tonight?
Yeah, I want to know how much input you had on the artwork and the design of your new album cover.
I just went up there and put makeup on my face and did what they told me. And picked out a picture that I liked out of the session, and it had clouds on it, and we had a song called Cloud 9, and that's what it was.
And that's it. That's simple. And Rich...
it really was going to be called Can, but we postponed that for the later album.
Thanks, Rich. Thanks for your questions tonight. We're going to talk with Courtney now in Des Moines, Iowa. Z93 is our station there, and Courtney, you're on the Rockline.
Hi, George.
Hi, Courtney.
How you doing? I just want to tell you I've got a daughter named Tiffany, and she's a year and a half old, and she loves your music and your videos, and when I get home from work, one of the first things she says is, George, George, George. She wants to see your...
Weren't you just on earlier saying
Yeah,
the
it
same
sounds
thing?
like a deja vu, yeah.
It is. I've been here before. Well, all I can say is what I said before. Very nice. It's very nice to know babies like me, too. They used to only like Ringo.
I got her working on Ringo and Paul, and she can almost pick everybody out. The question I had was, what influence were the Rutles on your...
The Rutles were so important to my career. Everything I ever knew or wrote was done the Rutles. You know, really, the Rutles, you know... The Rutles sort of liberated me from the Beatles, in a way. And it was the only thing I ever saw of those Beatle sort of television things they made that was actually the best, funniest, the most scathing, but at the same time the most done with the most love. But the sad thing about it was the songs that were so nice, such great parodies, written by Neil Innes, also got ripped off by Sir Lou Greed, who later sold it to Michael Jackson. So, because he couldn't afford to sue him back. But those, you know, so that's the sad bit about the Rutles, but they're brilliant.
It was a great piece
the
of...
The Rutles are coming to Flushing.
Anything the Monty Python people are involved in, I've usually appreciated. Courtney, thanks for the call. We'll take a time out and return with our special 2-hour edition of Rockline with George Harrison in just one moment. Again, the number to call, toll-free, 1-800-344-ROCK.
Well, you've got to...
And once again, welcome back to Rockline. It's a 2-hour special with George Harrison, and we're going to throw it to George and Jeff and see if they'll play something for us again here. You're working on an Everly Brothers song. You feel like playing that? He's going to think about it first.
Let's have a question first. Anybody on the line?
Actually, we were kind of set up for you to play right now.
Caught you, see.
Yeah.
These people, they're all...
Not ready for the question.
Okay, well, let's do this one.
Okay.
Well, we'll just do a bit of it, but you better get your phone calls coming.
We'll be ready.
I bless the day I found you. I wanna stay around you. And so I beg you, let it be me. Don't take this heaven from one. If you must cling to someone, incomplete love. And without your sweet love, what would life be? So never leave me lonely, and tell me that you love me only, and that you'll always let it be me, and that you'll always let it be me. Oh yeah, Yariba, Yariba.
Yes, indeed. Don and Phil would be proud. Jeff's first time to sing that song and play that song ever. Nice work there, Jeff. We're going to talk to Jim in Miami now, listening to 97 GTR. Jim, you're on with George.
Hi, George Harrison, I presume?
I presume, yes. Hi, Jim, Miami.
What, pardon?
Hello, in Miami.
Yes, hi. That was a great number. Jeff Lynne has done a lot to bring back your commercial success with the obvious production of Cloud 9.
Yeah, I'm not doing so bad plugging him either.
But on your album Somewhere in England, the song Blood from a Clone, which I love.
Yeah, good. I like good. Well done.
Yeah, that's a really good song. But that also describes some sort of like.
They say they like it, but no. I forget what key was in. They say they like it, but now in the market it may not go well because it's too laid back. It's all about how, when every time in somebody's career you take your album in the record company and they say, oh, it's very nice, very artistic, but piss off and go and do it better. And that's about that kind of thing.
Anything else, Jim?
Well, yeah. Well, I was wondering if you thought that any new bands could come along to start any sort of music revolution that the Beatles caused.
I wish they would, take the pressure off us. But all you get is all that stuff that's on there, all that same old clatter, bang, wallop, I'd rather hear Muddy Waters and all that myself, really. I've got a record here. I did a deal with the guy running this radio show, and he's waving at me now saying, no. He promised me hours ago. All I wanted to do is play you listeners 20 seconds of this thing, which is like angels singing at you, just to give you another point of view on what's available in life. And the guy's going back on his word. He's got no CD player. He's not a yuppie. No, he's going to play. He'll play. He better bad play it. I'll kill him. Anyway, that kind of stuff, okay?
Jim, thanks for the call. Let's let Mitch have his turn. Mitch is in Chicago listening to the Loop FM 98. And Mitch, you're on the Rockline.
How you doing, George?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
I got a question. What did you think about the Beatles CDs coming out? Were you pleased with them?
Yeah, very happy. It makes lots more money.
Were you pleased with the quality and the way they sounded after
they sound
been
really
mastered?
like they sound, if you want to go back to 1963 and put it on a CD, then you're going to get the same quality. It doesn't really matter. The format's nice. It's coming, everybody's got them, and I like it. But the quality of our records sound better and better as the quality improved as we were making them. Like Rubber Soul sounded better than Help, and Sgt. Pepper sounded a bit better, and Abbey Road we were still only on 8-track machine on Abbey Road, and that was the last thing we ever did,
Amazing.
So, but it's better to have them on there, and you all should go out and buy them, and Basker should give us all our royalties for them, and we'll all love each other and be happy.
Live happily ever after. Mitch, thanks for the call. Let's talk with Evelyn in Los Angeles. Evelyn is listening to 95.5 KLOS. Evelyn, you're on with George.
Hello.
Hi, Evelyn. Nice to hear you.
Nice to hear you, George. I want you to know that my husband Mo and I think you're absolutely wonderful.
I like you, too.
Thank you, as well as our whole family.
Right, so what's the question then, Evelyn?
Well, the question is that Something in the Way She Moves is my very favorite love song of all time, and I want to know what inspired you.
It actually was during the making of what they now call the Beatle White Album, and as there were so many tracks on that album, and by the time we were trying to finish off, we were all overdubbing different bits in different studios, and Paul was doing it in the road. And I was in number 1 studio just taking a break, and I played the piano. I've only got 3 fingers when I play the piano, and I couldn't believe these chord patterns coming out, that somebody else had missed it, because not playing the piano, I don't really know what you're supposed to do, and it just came out like that. But in my head I could hear Ray Charles singing it, which he eventually did, but there's like a lot of versions of that. It made me quite happy to hear. I gave it to Joe Cocker as well, and he did it later, but by that time the Beatles version came out. Something in the way you move, Evelyn, attracts me like no other lover. Something in the way, Jeff Lynne doesn't know the chords, she woos me. I don't want to leave her now. It's a bit like a nightclub song. That's why Frank Sinatra liked it. Elton liked that bit because he made Song for Guy. You're asking me, will my love grow? Stick around, Jack, it will show. Anyway, thank you, Evelyn. God bless you, and save us all.
Thanks for being on tonight, Evelyn. We're back in just one moment with George Harrison on Rockline. Welcome back to our special 2-hour edition of Rockline with George Harrison and Bob Coburn. George brought something with him, a piece of music that I'll throw out to you, George. What's the story here?
Well, occasionally when you get bored watching MTV and you want to hear something of any value, and then you're not hearing this kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Anyway, somewhere in the 60s, the late 60s, I had this record, and then I moved house and I lost it, and then it came back to me. Somebody gave me another copy, and now it's out on CD. But this is the kind of music that never reaches a lot of people because nobody will ever play it. But at the same time, I think we'd be a much better world if everybody was forced to listen to it. So we just play a little bit of this thing, and it may also make the listeners understand me a little bit more.
You want to tell us exactly what it is before? Or
well, let's just play a bit, and then we'll talk about it.
That's fine. Here it is.
Those cheap Japanese sort of CD players that make it skip. Anyway, you get the idea that I don't really know that much about it other than it sounds to me like somebody's trying to tell us something. Sounds like a heavenly choir,
It does. It's angelic.
Anyway, go out and buy it, and Bob Krasnow will get your copy, and I'll get 10% of all the royalties, and we'll all live happily ever after. No, seriously, it's a Bulgarian choir. I don't know when it was recorded, a long time ago, at least in the 60s, because that's when I first heard it. And it's good stuff, It certainly beats Billy Idol.
Let's take another call. We'll talk with Perry in Orlando, Florida, listening to WDIZ. Perry, you're on with George. Perry, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hi, Perry. Magic Moments.
Yeah, congratulations on your new album. I really enjoy it.
What about all my old ones?
I love them all, too. Can't wait to hear something new come from you.
Okay, good. How are you doing? What's the question?
Yes, I have two. What other instruments do you play, or what other instruments would you like to learn?
I like to learn acupuncture, actually. Those needles, I'd like everybody to learn acupuncture and massage, so we can all massage each other and stick needles in each other and get rid of some of the stress that we have put through in this life. As far as musical instruments are concerned, I play a little bit of sitar. I play three-finger piano, enough to write songs like Something, but nothing worth matching against great piano players like Bert Weedon and stuff like that. Anyway, I don't really play much, you know. Even the guitar, which I suppose is my first instrument, I don't really touch the thing, you know. I don't have time. I'm so busy talking on the radio and stuff, you know.
Do you have another question, Perry?
I do. And I was wondering, in your off time, do you have any hobbies that you like to do, such as any sports, soccer, or flying? Or
Actually, I was a real sort of lout in my youth. When I was a kid, I liked to run about and jump and do all those things kids do, but then they took me away and put me in college or high school where we didn't do anything except Latin and logarithm.
That stuff, yeah.
And so at the moment, the best thing I can do as far as sports concerned is I learned a bit of cricket when I was a kid, and I just got back into that this time. It's sort of like the sane version of baseball. And, you know, you just sort of hit a ball, somebody throws it at you. And I like to try and walk around a bit, you know, like the Ministry of Funny Walks. I do a bit of that to try and save having a heart attack. And for my hobbies, I go to Formula One motor racing a bit. I have a lot of friends who either drive them or build them. I've got a friend who designs racing cars. I like to go and, because I know all the politics of it, you see, so I can see behind the scenes. It's sort of like going to a rock concert and being able to go in Eric Clapton's dressing room. Mm-hmm. It's like that. And the other sport I like to watch, but I can't do it myself, is downhill skiing. All the rest, you know, like kicking balls and people with crash helmets on running around fields, you know, that stuff doesn't, you know, give me a thrill.
Doesn't do much for you, huh? Thanks for the call, Perry. We appreciate it. Let's let Dell have his turn in Houston, Texas. 101 KLOL is our affiliate, and Dell, you're on the Rockline.
Howdy, George.
Hi, Dell.
Well, actually, this is Chad, and I'm from...
You're Chad, Chattanooga. Where are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, thanks. I said, where are you?
Oh, I'm in Denver, Colorado.
In Denver, Colorado.
Right, good. How's the Red Rock Stadium doing? You still need oxygen?
I went up there tonight. It's pretty cold up there.
Yeah, it is.
What's your question, please?
I was wondering if you would ever consider maybe recording in one of your future albums a Beatles remake.
Why? You know, what would be the point of doing that?
What would be the point? Maybe, I don't know. Maybe you would bring back old and good memories. You know, maybe you can,
Next question.
Those memories are already there. Next question is from John in Greenville, South Carolina, a listener of Rock 101.1. Hi, John.
Hi, George. How are you?
Hi, John. I'm fine.
I love the album, and I think it's great.
Thank you.
I'd like to ask you, is there anyone that you would like to work with in the future, or anyone from the past you would like to work with or sing around?
I'd like to work with Adolf Hitler, you know, and sort of straighten him out a bit.
He could use some work, couldn't he?
He could. Acupuncture and massage, that's what he needs.
Mellow down, Adolf.
Yeah, get off the cocaine, Adolf.
John, thanks for the call. We appreciate the call. Oh, my goodness. Something, I've kind of let everybody have their shot here tonight and everything, and I've tried to be quiet because they want to hear you, and I wanted to let everybody ask their questions. Something, I don't know if I could answer this myself, but something I want to throw at you and see if you could answer. Why do you think music is
Who won the FA Cup in 1947?
And the grand prize is. Why, George, do you think music is so special? Not everyone appreciates it, but those who do it really affects our lives, and we think it's really special. Do you have any idea why that's the case?
The music that we do think is special, because certainly all music isn't special. Maybe it is to somebody, but not all music is all special to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So we find which music is special to ourselves, and if you want to get really deep into it, like the reason I played that Bulgarian record is the same thing that why I like classical Indian music or Big Bill Broonzy or whoever, is basically it's entertainment. It can make you dance, it can lighten your life up and make you happy or sad, it can put you through all the different emotions, but basically all the sound comes from the original sound source, which is that everything is a vibration, and sound comes from the basic sound source, which if you're a Catholic, you call it Amen, and if you're a Muslim, you call it Amin, and if you're a Buddhist, you call it Hum, if you're a Hindu, you call it Om. And Om is the basic sound vibration of God, and all other sounds emanate out of that. And in Sanskrit, they say Nada Brahma, which means the sound is God. And that's, I think, whether we know it or not, the sound vibration has a way of bypassing our intellect. We're also clever and we're also smart. We all can work out why everything is what it is, but occasionally we need some kind of sounds that bypass all that and just touch you in the heart and make you want to vomit.
I want to take a moment and thank you both for being here. Jeff Lynne, thanks for coming along.
Oh, was I?
Yes, you were here as well, yeah. And George, obviously, to you. It's been a very special evening.
It wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Thanks for everything. Congratulations on the success of Cloud9. Well deserved.
Thank you.
One of your best ever.
Well, how about the next one? I mean, it isn't really to do with this. I mean, this is good. It's nice to plug us into all these people calling and that. But I did stuff before this, and I hope to do stuff later. If it's not that commercial, it doesn't mean to say I'm not any good. It's like Bob Dylan's got all these albums out there. Nobody ever buys them. So go out and buy them because he's better than a lot of you. Okay?
Thanks for listening and for calling to everybody. We'd love to hear your response. Our address is P.O. Box 4383, Hollywood, California, 90078. Thanks to Warner Brothers for providing the Cloud9 CDs. And thanks for George and Jeff for being here. Go ahead and play to your heart's content on BC and LBC.
My confession, in the hour of my deepest need, when the pool of tears beneath my feet flood every newborn seed, there's a dying voice within me. It's reaching out somewhere, toiling in the danger and in the morals of despair. Don't have the inclination to look back on any mistake. Like Cain, I now behold this chain of events that I must break. In the fury of the moment, I see the Master's hand in every leaf that trembles and in every grain of sand. Good night, everybody. Howdy doody time. All the flowers of indulgence and the weeds of yesteryear, like criminals, they have choked the breath of conscience and good cheer. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll meet you all again down the avenue.
I do believe they passed the audition.
Rockline has been brought to you in part by Pepsi, the choice of a new generation.
You've been listening to Rockline, brought to you in part by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. Rockline is engineered by Jimmy Height, Conrad Pignon, Jim Pettyjohn, and Steve Thumé, and mixed on Yamaha professional sound equipment. Special production by Jimmy Rash. Technical direction by Mike Correa. Assistant to the producers, Sharon Sanchez. Our thanks to C.W. West and Kevin Stevens for their special help. Rockline is produced by Mark Felside. Executive producer, Howard Gilman. Rockline is a presentation of the Global Satellite Network for distribution in the United States by the ABC Rock Radio Network.
And good morning, it's Brad Dryden here. A couple minutes after midnight in Winnipeg. And I guess it's been a couple of days since we've all gotten our poison in the mail. Yeah, I'm talking